Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully to make the suffering we're about to do in our stretches a little bit more fun, a little less just suffering. and let me make a little bit of progress. Cool? Let's go. The first thing we're going to do is warm up. I literally just got out of bed 25 minutes ago, and then I sat in bed scrolling on my phone. So I think this will be the first time I've done anything other than for the whole day. All right, let's do this. We are starting with hip cars. Hip cars stand for hip, hip cars, controlled articulated rotations. And they are all about using your muscles to move your legs through space. And we're going to be using our muscles, all right? You can build up slowly. You don't have to go all in 100% right away, but let me demonstrate what I want it to look like. I want you to start by lifting this knee as high as you can. Let's go up, 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 up. You might notice you can pull your knee a little bit higher, but you can't bring it up a little bit higher with just your thigh muscles, all right? That's what we're working on. That's what we're trying to control. Oh, I'm off balance. From here, we're going to open up our leg off to the side. We're going to try and keep the hips in the same spot. Not going to move those, but this leg is moving. After that, we're going to bring the leg and the ankle mostly up. All right, from the side, it's going to look like this. We did high knee, open, or bring the ankle up. From here, we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on bringing that ankle up, 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 as high as you can. Your hamstrings are basically almost going to cramp, and then we're going to stop. We're going to bring the leg down and back. When you bring the leg down and back, we're flexing the hamstrings, we're flexing the glutes, we're feeling the stretch here in the front of the hip, and we are, done with one rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side, and then we're going to reverse the whole thing, and we're going to do 10 more on the left and 10 more on the right. There are lots of reps. Take your time, breathe, and I think it's time to get started. Let's go. Stand up straight. Keep that core nice and tight. Stick your hand up against the wall to help with balance, and let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. One more. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. Oh, that is some hip cars. We have done one leg. That means we're only 25% of the way through. Let's turn around and get ready to start the other side. Whew. Hand out for balance. Lean. Acknowledge how tired you are, and let's go. Core nice and tight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. If you're just joining and working on a high knee, as high as you can, directly in front. We're opening up that hip to the side. Trying to open as wide as you can without moving your hips, without rotating all over the place. And then we're going to rotate the ankle up to horizontal, rotate some more, bring that ankle up, and then finally bring the leg down and back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch here in the hip flexor. This is number 6, high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 7, high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 8, high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 9, last one, high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That is a hip crunch going forward. Take a quick break, do a little shake at the hips, and we're going to continue, and we're going to go in reverse. When we go in reverse, all the movements are basically the same. There's one extra thing I want you to doubly emphasize. That is your low back. Okay? Our low back often gets a little torquey when we start doing this first move. The last thing that we ended with was the kick back, right? The leg was back here. When it's the first thing we start with, we tend to get excited, a little bit uh, aggressive, and we start irritating our low backs because we're going, ah, and then we're putting a whole bunch of pressure right here, right? Try to keep your core tight, tuck your hips in, and then have that movement come from the hips without going like that, all right? So, one of the ways to do this is to keep your hips low and then have it come from the hips. You can hold on to your hips if you want to prove that that's happening, but you can also keep your core real tight so that your body can't torque. All right, that is our tip. Let's continue. Stand up straight. Keep that core really, 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 really tight now. Hold on to the wall for balance and bring the leg back. Oh, side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. All right. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's three, I think. Maybe four. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's four. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Five. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Six. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Seven. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Eight. Two more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's nine. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Oh man. Okay. That is a reverse hip guard. We got one last reverse hip guard. We'll be finally done with all these hip guards, and we'll be ready to move on to something a little bit more chill. All right. Hands out for balance. Stand up straight. Keep that core nice and tight, and let's go. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Two. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Three. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Four. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Five. Five more. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. I think that's seven. Three more. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Eight. Two more. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle. 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 Knee. That is our hip cars. If you need a grunt, groan, make noises. Congratulations. We're on the same page. Grunt, groan, make as many noises as you want. We're going to move on into our second warm up exercise. But since there is 100 plus of you online, I got to do the recap. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully to make the suffering that we're doing right now a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable. And hopefully all three of those pieces, consistency, community, not suffering as much, help us to make a whole bunch of progress in our hip mobility in our side splits. All right. If you like that, if you need help practicing consistency, keep on coming back. We're live every day, Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. The show stays virtually the same. I try to be a little bit more funny every day. That may or not happen. And that's subjective, right? So you can just pretend I'm getting funnier every day. Anyways, we're going to get on into our second warm up exercise. Let's go. We're going to fold at the hips. Whee! Boop. Our belly button is coming down. And if you have a you're probably feeling it right now. What I want you to do is just chill, breathe, and flop over. Relax.
Relax as many muscles as you can. Your hands, your wrists, your forearms, your shoulders, your back, your neck. Just chill. And when you start to have no weirdness in your low back, if that is possible for you, you start feeling it more in your hamstrings, then we're ready to move on. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out the other leg. This is hamstring heavy, so get ready. We're going to fold our belly button down to the ground, and we're going to keep on switching. Oh, the leg and make it less intense. If you are also struggling because you're doing this live every single day and or 4 times, 5 times in one weekend, then you should take the intensity down as well or take a little bit of rest. Okay? But for the rest of us, for the rest of you, we are bending one knee, we're straightening out the other, we're bending the other leg, and then we're straightening out the other. And we keep on switching back and forth, working on making our hamstrings feel it, feel the work. Whew. What this does is warms up the hamstrings so that we can get into a nice deep stretch in a little bit. You might also feel a whole bunch of pressure here in your glutes. The hamstrings become tendons, and tendons become attached to the bottoms of your hips. When we're folded forward like this, the bottom of our hips kind of like right here, pointed straight back. And that is where you're probably feeling a little bit of tingliness. The other place you might be feeling a little bit of tingliness is in your toes. That is because of nerve flossing, nerve stretching, nerve gliding. There's a lot of terms for this, but in general, the nerves, your nervous system, is a physical system, somewhere attached to all sorts of places inside your body. When you fold forward like this, you start stretching those things out too, and that makes your toes tingly, or that makes your extremities tingly. So, now that you know what the feelings are, let's talk about whether or not you feel like you're folding forward more and it's a little bit more easy. If it's easier, great. Fold a little bit more and keep going. Fold, knee, 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 knee. We're done. Pop into a squat. Come on back up into standing and whew, that is warm up exercise number 2. We are going to get back into that position in a second. Shake out your legs, shake out your hips, do a little dance, loosen up, and we're going to do some thoracic rotation. What that means is we're going to rotate the thoracic spine, which is the middle part of your back. You got the cervical spine, which is up here, and you got a low back. All right? We're talking about everything in between. Actually, we're going to rotate the neck too. So maybe everything above your low back. Your low back is actually not designed to move very much, but it suffers a lot because the rest of our body is not moving nearly as well as it could be. So a lot of low back pain that you might be experiencing comes from the fact that your hips and your upper back aren't doing the job. All right. So what are we going to do? We're going to train our back to do a little bit more of its job. Thoracic rotations look a little bit like this. We're going to try and keep our hips in the same spot. We're going to rotate. Wee, and oh, but we're going to get into the position that we were just in for a little bit more stability, for something to push into to get into a deeper thoracic rotation. What does that mean? Ken's using all these words and not doing a single thing. He is bending one knee and straighten out the other leg, just like before. We're folding at the belly button and coming down like this. We're going to take one arm from the bent knee side. We're reaching across the body, pushing against the straight leg to help open up our chest. Open, 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 open. Open, open, open. The other arm is extended straight up into the air behind you. Your neck is rotated to look at that hand. And I want you to breathe, and on the exhale, I want you to reach a little further, okay? Inhale. Exhale, reach. That is half a rep. We're going to do 5 of these in total. Take your time. I talk fast. You don't have to move fast. I tell you to breathe a lot. You can take it nice and slow. You can take it nice and chill. It does not have to be. You don't have to breathe like that. All right? I might make loud sounds to help you hear that I'm breathing when my face is rotated and you can't see anything. But that doesn't mean you have to breathe that loud and obnoxiously out. Okay, cool. All right, let's go. Knee bent, leg straight. We're taking our arm from the bent leg side, reaching across the body. We're pushing against that straight leg. We're opening. Whee! From here, we're going to reach when we breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And that is one full rep. We're going to do 5 of these in total. Other side. Knee bent, leg straight, reach across, Open up that chest. Oh, rotate that spine. Breathe. Oh, that's two part one. Other side. Oh, two part two. Breathe. Ah, ha, ha. That's two of our reps. We got three more. Whew. One leg is bent. One leg is straight. Arm reaches across to the straight leg, pushes against it to help open up the chest. Look up at the hand. Breathe, 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 breathe. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Oh, other side. Open. Breathe. Exhale and reach. That's three. Two more. Okay. That's four. One last one. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. We're reaching a hand across to the straight leg and we're opening up that chest and we're looking at that hand. Breathe, exhale, reach. Oh, five. That's the last one. Open. Oh, oh, that hopefully is a little bit of thoracic rotation for you. Your back is hopefully a tiny bit more loose, a tiny bit more mobile, and your shoulders are probably exhausted because you never reached that far back behind you for anything. And the good news is that's all we got to do for those. So we're ready to move on. We're going to move on into our third and final warm up exercise. It's called the Cossack switch. I'm going to scoot my butt back towards the wall so I can demonstrate it and you can see it without getting cut off. All right? Whew. I'm going to demonstrate. You don't have to hop in. We'll look at it real quick and then we'll jump into some exercises together. All right? What we're going to do is open our legs, kind of what? Power stance, Superman stance. And from here, we're going to drop down onto one leg. So that one leg is doing a deep squat, and the other leg is basically doing a side split. All right, this is our starting position. We're going to scoot our butts over to the other side. We're going to sit here. We're going to squat. We're going to chill for a second. We're going to squish deeper into the stretch, and we're going to come on back. Whee! That is one rep. Most of us, our knees, our ankles, our hips, are not going to be ready to be that low. So let's stretch them, get them prepared for the Cossack switch, and then do the Cossack switch. What I want you to do is recognize that what we're just doing is basically a deep squat. So come on down into a deep squat real quick and try to bring your chest to your knees. Hug them in. Whew. If you are super flexible and you can put your heels on the ground, try to make sure that you're leaning forward to feel that Achilles tendon stretch. If you cannot put your heels on the ground, it's even better actually, because I want you to lean really far forward to feel that Achilles tendon stretch. From here, you might also be feeling a little bit in your calves. And we want that. We want all of this getting stretched out so that you can get deep into the Cossack switch. Okay? From here, once you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, figured out how to balance, I want you to start doing a little dance. Do a little wiggle, do a little shake, and work those hips, work those muscles. We do a little dance. Do 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 do. Get down tonight. It's really early in the morning. Get down tonight. We're just moving nice and gentle through the hips, through the ankles, putting a little bit of pressure in all these places to get them prepared for some Cossack switches. Hopefully, you're ready, because that's what's coming up. All right, stick your hands straight down into the ground. Stick the leg straight out to the side. Boom. That's our setup. Now we're going to drop this heel down to the ground. This is the most important part of this whole entire thing, so focus on bringing that heel down. That is because when your heel is down, you're a lot more stable. Because we're moving a ton, I want you to be stable. So drop your heel down into the ground and then get as low as you can. If you can get super low, like so, great. If you cannot and you're a little higher up, it's absolutely okay. It's part of the process. We're training. This is why we're here. All right. So next, we're scooting our butts over that way. Whee! Boom. If you're a little bit higher up, it might be a little bit easier because these are in ranges that you use a little bit more often. If you're lower to the ground, you're like, what the heck? I have to get over there. How do I do that? You can put your hands down and you can walk your hands over. Ooh, my ankle just cracked. If you need a little bit more help from a higher up position, you can put your hands down on something and help yourself over. All right, could be a coffee table, could be a stool.
As long as it's stable enough to support your weight a little bit, help you balance, help you push off so your legs don't need to work as hard, is perfect. From here, once we've gotten to the other side, we're squishing, we're getting low, we're breathing, we're going, and getting lazy on the other side, and trying to get deeper into the stretch. Okay, we're gonna come back. Wee, boom. That is one rep. I think we got enough information to get started. So I'm gonna get rid of the stool, and we're going to begin. Let's go. Once again, we're popping that deep squat, extending one leg out to the side, hands down, trying to get as deep as we can with this heel down, wherever that is for you. And we're going to bring our hips over. Let's go. This is rep number one. Over. Squish. Come on back. Oof. One is done. Keep going. One, two. Squish. And come on back. That's two. And keep going. Three. If you feel like you don't need your hands for balance anymore, that's great. Don't use your hands. That's three. And four. If you're feeling super strong, you can try and sit up a little bit straighter. When you sit up straighter, you probably won't be able to sink as deep into that hip as before, but it's going to emphasize your low back, and you're going to feel a whole bunch more muscles working real hard. I think this is five. We got five more. Across and down. That's six. Across and down. I've got to emphasize this, but we're going to take a pause and try to get a little bit lower into our stretch. All right. I think this is eight. If at this point your knees are getting a little bit achy because you can't handle this in between sort of transition space, you can start by coming up, across, and then sinking down into the stretch, right? So up, across, and down. I think this is nine. So we got one last one to do. Up, across, and down, and up, and across, and down. Oh, that is our 10 Cossack switches. Whew, I'm out of breath. We have just wrapped up our warm up. If that sentence scares you, don't be worried. This is a stretching and hip mobility show, which means we do 45 to 60 minutes of hip mobility and side split stretching. All right? And we do this every single day at 9 p.m. to practice consistency. It's currently not 9 p.m., it's 9 a.m. because on the weekends, we do this show in the mornings to help people who want to start their day do a little bit of stretchy stuff. All right. So if you like consistency, if you like stretchy stuff, make sure to keep coming back. We're live every day at 9 p.m. on the weekends. So right now we're live at 9 a.m. and that is Eastern time, meaning we started what 25 minutes ago, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Grab a sip of water and go grab a cushion for your knee. We're going to move on into our stretches. And the first stretch that we're going to do is a hamstring stretch, where we're going to have one knee on the ground, one leg extended. We're going to fold over that leg. So, for the cushion, you can grab a pillow, you can grab your dog bed, you can grab a stuffed animal, you can grab a dirty towel that you just roll up and stick under your knee. If it doesn't smell too bad, all good. I'm going to go grab a sip of water because my mouth is super dry, and I'll be right back. Whew. Ah. I try to drink too fast so I can get back to talking. And now I have noticed my mouth leaks. Got a big old drippy stain on a gray shirt, so now it looks like I have a ginormous black stain on my shirt. Yay! Okay, let's continue. We're getting to our stretches. We're doing 5 stretches in total. The first one is a hamstring stretch, and we end with some side splits. All right. The first stretch looks a little bit like this. I want you to hopefully get back down to the floor with that little bit of cushioning, that little bit of padding that I asked you to grab. I want you to bring your knees down into the ground together. I want you to take a look at your hips. All right. Your hips should be pretty neutral, pretty square, just underneath your shoulders. This is relatively close to what we want to maintain the whole entire time. I'm saying relatively because if you have a little tiny bit of adjustment, it's not a big deal. But I want you to keep your hips pretty close to this very neutral situation. What are you talking about, Ken? When we get into this front leg stretched out in front, we tend to get a little excited and we turn into a front split, right? We tend to go wee and start pushing out real far on the leg. This hip kind of gets left behind. This side of the hip starts going forward. Our whole body is starting to twist. When that happens, you're introducing a whole bunch more stretching to your body than just the hamstring stretch. Yes, you're going to feel it here. You're also going to feel it here, You might be twisted a little bit and you're trying to work your way back. Now your obliques are stretched. There's a whole bunch going on that you don't need to do. All right, this is a hamstring stretch. So pull your leg back in, get your hips back neutral so they're straight across like this, and we're ready to begin. From here, we're bringing the belly button down to that leg. Wee, fold, 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 fold. Oh, and once you're in your hamstring stretch, once your hamstrings are screaming at you, we're here. All right, I'm gonna spin around real quick so that you can see what the rest of the body is doing and not just stare at my big head. And we'll be ready to continue. So, hips neutral, leg forward, folding. I'm not gonna go as hard as I usually do because on the weekends I do a show every 12 hours and that makes my hips unhappy. So, you're just gonna have to imagine that I'm folding really, 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 really far forward because my hips can't handle it today. All right, let's go. I want you to breathe. I want you to relax. I want you to fold. Just chill. Bring your belly button down towards that leg a little bit more and chill. My hamstrings are probably tense. They're probably tingly. But a whole bunch of other muscles might be tense as well. If your toes are tense, relax them. Feet, relax them. Calves, relax them. Glutes, relax them. Low back, relax them. And just sort of flop into that hamstring. Flop into that leg. Breathe. Breathe. And as you take big exhales, nice and slow, hopefully your hamstrings are starting to relax a little bit. All right? That tension, hopefully, is not nearly as tense as when you started. We're going to level up right now. We're going to do an inhale, an exhale, and fold at the same time. What that means is we're going to take a big breath in, so we got lots of ammunition for this exhale fold. Then we're going to slowly exhale. As we exhale, I want you to fold and focus on bringing the belly button down into the ground. All right? So it's a very literal name. We're inhaling, exhale, and fold. Bring that belly button down and feel that hamstring stretch get a little bit more intense. If in the middle of that folding, some other muscles got really tense, like your toes, your feet, your calves, your glutes, your low back, relax them. Breathe, flop deeper into your stretch in. Sigh out the extra tension. Cool? We're gonna do that again. We're gonna do that second time. And at this point, if your knee is getting a little achy, you can give it a slight bend, just a teeniest little bend to take some pressure off the knee, and you can continue. All right, let's go. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale, and fold. The knee bend is for people who have achy knees, who are feeling a whole bunch of pressure there. If you were not feeling pressure there, you can keep your leg straight. You don't have to get fancy with it. Okay? What the knee bend does is it takes off some stretch from your leg so that you can fold a little bit more forward if that's what you want to feel really good about. That's great. But because your stretch is reduced, at some point, you're going to have to extend your leg straight again. We're just pushing and delaying the most painful part for people who have knee issues to the very end. You can fold forward, fold flat, and then extend your leg. All right? Whew. Where are we at? I think we're set. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. We take a couple rounds of that inhale, exhale, fold to get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Most of the time, the first time you fold into something, your hamstrings are going to be tight, they're going to be tense, and we're trying to force you to relax those muscles so you can get into a deep range of motion that you already have access to, you're just not prepared for. All right? 15, maybe 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's one hip. Oh, I said I'd take it easy, and I did take it easy, but my hips are still so tired and so achy. Okay, other side. Knees are down, straight into the ground. Other leg is extended out in front. We are folding this belly button down into our thighs. Whee! Come on down. Try to keep this leg that's supporting your weight straight
up and down. If you get into a situation where your hip is popping out to one side or hip is going in the other side, you're going to throw yourself a little bit off balance. And those are muscles that should be working that are not working quite right. All right. So try to keep this leg straight up and down. From here, we're folding forward. I already said this. Breathe, chill, relax, flop into that hamstring. Breathe, and see if you can relax a little. From here, I want you to know that if you are trying to slam your knee into your face, you're working too hard. If your upper neck, if your shoulders, if your mid back is rounding and you're feeling a whole bunch of stretch happening there, you're doing too much. The stretch here for the hamstring comes at the hips. The angle of the hips determines how intense that stretch is. So if you're trying to stick your face into your knee, the only thing you're stretching is your neck, your back, and all that stuff that you're feeling. But we already slouch enough. You really don't need to be stretching and turning yourself more into a ball. Okay, so just chill, relax. If you're bent over because you're just being lazy, that's very different from being bent over because you're trying to stick your knee into your face. Oh man, that was tiring. Okay, one more inhale, exhale, fold. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Ha. We are deep, 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 deep in this stretch. Relax the toes, relax the feet, calves, glutes, low back, and breathe. As you exhale, sink deeper into your stretch. And 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Again, if you need to, give that knee a slight bend. Take some tension off of the knee. Take some tension out of that hamstring stretch. You can fold forward and get right back into that hamstring stretch. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep breathing. Do not hold your breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All right, that's it. That's our hamstring stretch. Come on out of it. Rotate, spin. Grunt, groan. Whew! We have finished our first stretch. We spent a little bit of time here setting up the hamstring stretch because I want you to notice that if you spend a little bit more time trying to get folded forward, you actually do get a little bit more folded forward, and that helps you get into a deeper stretch. So, where's the lesson here? If you warm up before you do some stuff, if you spend some time trying to get loose, you spend some time focusing on preparing your body for moves, your body does indeed prepare. So take your time, do the pre warm up, whatever exercises for whatever other thing you're about to do because you saw something cool on the internet, and make sure your body's prepared. All right, we're gonna move on into our second stretch. It's called the butterfly stretch. I'm gonna do it on my mat here because it is a little bit more grippy than the floor, and I want to stick straight down into the ground instead of having my legs slide out. Let's talk about the butterfly. I want you to sit up against the wall so that your butt, your low back, your shoulders, your head are against it. And I want you to bring your feet together. Boom, and pull them in. I'm going to pull up my pants so the knees don't bag out too bad. And whew, we are in our starting position. From here, we're trying to bring our knees down into the ground because there's a groin stretch. And the way you stretch out the groin is by bringing your knees down into the ground. And I want you to get stronger while you do this. So I want you to use your own muscles. I want you to use your thighs, these outer thigh muscles. I want you to use your glutes to help pull your legs open. So go ahead, get into position and work on that. We want to see your knees slowly go down just a little bit. If they get stuck, fine, no worries. You tried. You're working those muscles. They got stuck somewhere because you're probably not strong enough to pull them all the way down because all your other muscles are fighting you. And that's okay. All right? As long as you tried and you try to push your knees down into the ground, we are good. Try again. Try some more. Try. And when you're unable to open your legs any further, but you are feeling a stretch here in the groin, we're ready to continue with some other hard stuff. We're going to take our hands. We're going to stick them straight into the ground. Not really. We're going to stick them into just below our knees, and then we're going to push our knees into the ground. All right. When you do this, your knees are going to go down because you're pushing your arms down. But your shoulders and the back of your head are also going to go up because your shoulders are attached to your back.
This is why we're standing and we're sitting in front of the wall, so that when we push down, the wall keeps us from going anywhere and helps us push our legs down. However, that does mean the back of your head might be feeling a little tense right now, and that is okay. That is intended. Okay? Let's go! 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Push those knees down a little bit more. 24, 23, 22, 21. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 20, 19, 18. If you have been flexing your muscles this whole entire time in your outer thighs and in your glutes, you can relax them now. And as you relax, you can try and push a little bit deeper with your hands. Push, 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 push. If you have not been flexing at all and you're like, oh, shoot, I have to flex, don't worry. Take your time. Slowly pick up the tension. Flex those glutes, flex those outer thighs, pull your knees down, and use your hands to help push you down. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Relax all your muscles wherever you're at and push a little bit deeper with your hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. Walk. No, you're not walking. You're just relaxing your hands. Flop them off to the side. Whew. If your wrists are super tired from applying force down, you can give them a little shake, a little wiggle, and help them revive. Oh, and next up, the most important part, we're actually going to flap the wings of our butterfly. We're going to bring our knees up and down. Okay? If you have no idea how to do this, if your legs are falling asleep and they can't move, you can take your legs with your hands and you can give them a gentle shake, and then you can make it a more aggressive shake, and you'll be like, hey, we got stuff to do, wake up! And do the same on the other side. Be that obnoxious older sibling who has to wake your younger siblings up, except your younger sibling is your leg. And let's go. Hopefully your legs are working. You can do an extra flap or two if you need to prove it to yourself. And we're ready to go. Come on back up into standing. We're getting into some standing pancake. The standing pancake is our third stretch. We're already halfway through almost of our stretches. It's like 40%, but halfway sounds way nicer. From here, we are opening up our legs, nice and wide. And we are going to fold at the hips, bring our belly button right here down into the ground. We fold. Cool? From here, we are in our starting position for the pancake stretch. From the side, it looks a little bit like this. Legs wide, fold, wee, boom. Starting position. The goal of pancake stretch is to bring your whole entire upper body down, 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 until your upper body is in between your legs. It is a crazy, crazy stretch that needs an insane amount of flexibility. So we're gonna do the version that gravity helps us the most with, and gonna let ourselves be a little bit lazy. Okay? When you're here, I want you to focus on keeping your upper body horizontal or as close to it as possible. That is the angle in which you'll feel gravity pulling down on your hips the most. And if you don't feel it, you're like, this isn't bad at all. What are you talking about, Ken? You can extend your arms out past your head so that your biceps are your biceps are by your ears. All right? Sorry, I tapped the mic a whole bunch of times. Whew. From here, exhale, relax, and see how deep you can fold into that position. If that's not enough and you're ready for some more pain, you can hold on to something like a water bottle, a couple of 1 pound dumbbells, and you can keep going. You can go right down into a deep stretch. If you feel like your face is getting too close to the ground, you're a little uncomfortable, notice you can see exactly how far my face is from the ground. There's like a whole foot. I think depth perception gets a little bit weird when you're upside down because you're like, wow, I'm so close to this thing. But if you still feel like you're really close, you can stick your butt back behind you. When you do that, especially if you're folding forward a little bit more, it brings your upper body closer to horizontal again, and you're in a deeper stretch too, and you're further away from the floor. So it's a triple whammy win. From here, we're basically all set up. There's nothing else to talk about. Actually, there is one more thing. You can widen your stance a little bit wider if you'd like. If you can't get any further, don't go further. But if you can and you want to, you can go a little bit wider. Okay? Bring that belly button down, belly button down, belly button down, belly button down. Stick the butt back. Extend your arms in front to counterbalance, and we're ready to begin. 30 seconds, 30, 29, 28, 27. You don't have to extend your arms out the whole time. I'm not going to do it almost at all. 25,
24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Put your hands down. Whew! That is our pancake. What we focused on was keeping our legs locked into the ground like so, and bring our belly button down so that we're leaning forward into that stretch. If at this point your legs don't want to move and you're feeling a little stuck, I recommend you wiggle your toes, wiggle your heels, wiggle your toes, wiggle your heels, wiggle them in towards each other until you bring your legs back into a standing looking position. But you'll probably be stuck on the ground like this because your low back and your hamstrings have been also stretched out. Whew, pop into a little bit of a squat and see if that helps you get back into standing. When you are bent over for a long time, it tends to be the case that your low back muscles start chilling too hard and they forget to come back and stay tense. So when you pop into a little bit of squat, give them a second to get activated and you'll be back in standing in no time. That was our standing pancake. If your legs are crying out at you right now, that's because we put a whole bunch of pressure on our adductors. We stretched them out, then we contracted that muscle in the stretched out position, and that stuff hurts. The other thing that we did was we folded forward some more, we folded some more, I folded some more, and we were in a deep hamstring stretch. Your hamstrings have already been stretched out multiple times. The first time we did it was doing the elephant walks, and then we did the hamstring stretch, and you remember how much that sucked. And now we have done some more with our pancake. The reason why we do so much hamstring is because for most of us, it is going to be our biggest problem area because we sit so much, right? And to take some of the attention off your hamstrings so you can focus more on your inner thigh muscles in the pancake, we pre-stretch them nice and tough in that first hamstring stretch. Whew, okay, you don't need to know more about this. Hopefully, your legs are a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxed at this point because you've been standing and walking around going, oh my God, Ken's talking so much. But thankfully, I have some time to have my legs work again. So, because that's the goal. I'm just trying to fill time with something educational while you recover mobility in your legs. All right, we're going to move on into our fourth stretch. It is either the figure four or the pigeon. If you have a favorite, if you're a regular, you can go ahead and do whichever one that you like. If you're new to the show and you want to follow along, I'm going to demonstrate the figure four stretch. That's because I did the pigeon stretch twice yesterday night and yesterday morning. So we switch it up and I do a little bit different stuff occasionally. It's not that different. It's basically the same stretch. What we're doing is we're taking one leg, we're bringing it across just above our knee. We're grabbing that ankle, we're pulling that ankle towards our belly button, and we're bringing our belly button down towards the ankle. And from the side, it looks a little bit like this. This hip over here is feeling the stretch. And that is what we want. You might also feel a stretch here in the hamstrings underneath the leg, and you might feel a little bit of pinchy foldiness here at the hip. Those are all normal. Okay? Let's go. For the figure four, we're getting to the floor. We're laying down, and I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to do. Let's go. Oh, man, the floor is so nice. I want to lay down for sure. Okay, leg crossed over to the other side. We're sticking our hands through this triangle that we just made, and we're sticking the other hand, wrapping it around the other knee that's being normal and chill. From here, we're pulling that leg into our chest. All right, adjust as you need to bring this leg down into a stable position, and pull it in. Pull, 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 pull. Pull some more. Pull it in. Pull, 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 pull. Pull some more. Pull. Whew. I'm gonna rotate real quick and pull some more. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. Pull a little bit more. And we're probably ready to go. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. If you're feeling a whole bunch of tension on your knee because your ankle is getting pulled, but your knee is not quite flexible enough to come deeper into the hip, you can take your hand, you can palm that knee, you can pull both together. Pull, 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 pull. Pull, pull, pull. Pull some more. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, relax everything. Whew. You can drop your arms off to the side. You can let your legs flop to either side. My low back just cracked. That feels nice. And you can keep going to the other side. You do not have to keep your ankle on that knee. You can drop both your feet to the floor. And you can let your knees fall to either side. Whee! That's falling. All right. Final stretch. Come on up. We gotta switch and we gotta finish. You can't fall asleep here. As much as you want to, you can't fall asleep here. Let's go. Other side. What did we just do? That was what we did. We're gonna cross the leg to the other side now. Alright? Stick your hands through that triangle. Stick your hand around the other side. And give me a second as I rotate. Spin move. To this side. Pull that leg in. Pull it into your chest. Pull some more. Breathe. Exhale. As you exhale, pull some more. Exhale, pull some more. Exhale, pull some more. Oof. When your hips just don't want to, you should be okay to pull some more, but you can stop now and you can focus on pulling while we're counting. Whew, 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. Keep breathing. As you breathe, try to relax your glutes, relax your low back, relax your muscles out in the rest of the leg. Breathe, chill. Again, if your knee is feeling a little achy, you can cup it with your other hand, pull that in directly. And 22, maybe 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done. Whew, hopefully you felt that stretch here in that side of your glute. And drop your arms, drop your legs, let them flop to either side. Give yourself a little bit more relaxation. If your eyes are closed, try not to fall asleep. Keep going. Right and left and stretch. All right, that's it. Come on up. We are done with 4 of our 5 stretches. And if I laid down any longer, I'd fall back asleep. So take a quick sip of water. I'm going to take a sip of water. You don't have to drink, but that was not a sip. That was a very big gulp. We're ready to continue with some side splits. All right. Before we get actually into crazy side splits, we're going to do some safety. And we're going to remind you that you don't have to get as deep as I will demonstrate. Or if you're super good at side splits already as it is, then you can get even deeper, right? Everybody, we are going to be in our own situation, and it's going to take time to develop our flexibility. It's going to take time to develop our mobility, all right? So whatever happens in the next little bit, if you get stuck, you feel like you can't move anymore, you're done for now, that is perfectly fine place to pause, rest, and wait it out, okay? The goal here is for us to get into a crazy position, crazy-ish for you position, and then to relax as much as possible so that the muscles can chill out and get long, and you can slowly drift into a slightly deeper stretch. When we get into a crazy position, our muscles are going to be tense. They're going to be trying to protect you from yourself. And realistically, that's not so bad an idea, right? But it's not helpful when you want to get into the side split. So as you breathe, as you chill, as you introduce relaxation, hopefully that tension will slowly resolve itself and you'll be able to get a little bit deeper. All right? That's the quick summary, the gist of what stretching is all about, or at least what static stretching is all about. And I think we're about ready to get into some safety. What we're doing is going to look a little bit like this.
We're gonna open up our legs nice and wide. We're gonna fold down into the ground, trying to keep ourselves stable by holding onto the floor. And we're gonna be wiggling, we're gonna be squirming, we're gonna be squishing. And at some point, it is entirely possible that you'll squeeze, you'll squish, you'll wiggle, and then all of a sudden, you'll be falling backwards. And you'll be like, no! And you'll swim through the air, and then, oh, if you are standing right in front of a wall, I recommend 8 to 12 inches. Your butt will fall into the wall, and all of a sudden you'll just be standing ish. Might not be super comfortable, but you won't have fallen onto the ground. You won't have hurt your butt. And all you have to do to recover from here is do a little hip thrust. Whee! And you'll be off the wall, and you'll be back in your stretch. Okay? So, what I'm recommending is that you stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall, and that will protect you from falling backwards. All right? If you don't do that, you can imagine with me, because I'm not going to fall on my butt today. I've fallen, I think, the last 2 or 3 lives, and now my butt hurts. So, if you were doing our side split from the side, and you're like, I don't need a wall, all of a sudden you find that you're losing balance. You're like, no, you're swimming through the air, and then you go, oh, oh, you fall like 12, 16, 18, 20 inches to the ground, and your butt hurts a lot. If you're really strong, I guess you can try really hard to catch yourself in between your legs, like I just did. But if you're actually falling, I don't think you have time to adjust that arm. So stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall, and we're ready to begin. Oh, man, my hips are tired. Let's go. We are getting some side splits. And this is going to be super beginner friendly. We're going to take it step by step. So if you've never done one before, don't worry. Cool? We're opening up our legs nice and wide. Doing a little dance, shaking it out, seeing how wide we can go. If your hips are hurting, they have gone too far. There's a pinching sensation right here. You're doing too much. Bring your legs back just a little bit. Whee! From here, we're ready to fold when there's no more pain in the hips. We're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down, 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 down. From here, we're in our starting position. Stick your hands down on the ground, and they will give you a little bit of support while you're wiggling and going from side to side. If your hands are not ready to come down to the ground, you can use something to elevate them, like a stool. This is like a $9 stool from Amazon, so you don't have to do anything fancy. You just need something to support your hands on. If you have a bunch of old textbooks, if you're in one of those households that still has a stack of encyclopedias, feel free to use them for something and stick them on the ground. All right. From here, we are going to rotate our legs. This is the most important part of the whole entire stretch, so don't skip this. Right now, our feet are flat on the ground and our knees are kind of pointed forward towards, in this case, you guys, towards the camera. What we want to do is rotate the whole leg back 90 degrees so that, boom, the heel is down, the toes are up, the knee is pointing up, and the quads are pointing up. That rotation makes it so that our thigh bones do not smash into our hip bones and cause pain. All right, we got to do the other side as well. Heel down, toes up, knees up. Once you have rotated into this position, you're going to feel a whole bunch of pressure on your heels. If that's hurting you, go grab some flip flops or a couple pieces of foam to put under each foot, and you should have enough protection to continue. I have done so many hundreds of days of these that I have become desensitized. I have big, gross calluses underneath my heels. So I don't need it anymore, but I sometimes forget. So grab your foam, grab your flippy floppies, and we'll be ready to continue. Whew! All right, I hope you're back because we're continuing. Our heels are down, our knees are pointing up, our toes are kind of pointing up, and we are slowly drifting into a deeper stretch. At this point, we are in a side split. You might not be super low to the ground in the side split, but this is a side split. And the only thing holding you back at this point is the length of your muscles because we've rotated the bones out of the way. So, what I want you to do is I want you to lean to one side, lean to the other side. I want you to keep wiggling. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Squirm, 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 squirm. Push one leg out a little bit more. Go to the other side. Push that one out a little bit more. Push the other one out. And push the other one out. Push the other one out. Use your stool. Use your chair. Use your hand support to take some burden off of your legs. Stick it into your arms instead. And keep on wiggling and squirming. If at any point you're like, okay, this is me, I'm done, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to keep going. But if you feel like you got a little bit more in you, we can continue. You can try to walk your hands back towards your hips. This is often where you might fall backwards, so hopefully you're very close to the wall. If you're very close to the wall, like I recommended, you can probably actually put your butt against the wall, and that'll give you a little bit of support. And it is great. We're in a side split looking position, and we're just chilling, seated ish. We can also walk our hands really far forward, sort of like how we were coming down when we were doing the side split setup. And you might notice that there's a whole bunch more tension, a whole bunch more stretch happening in the inner thigh muscles right here. That is also really good because we actually really need this for our side splits. So you got two options. If one gets too intense, you can walk your hands back a little bit, you can adjust, and as long as your knee is pointing the same direction as the top of your head, it is a side split. All right? Whew, we've been here for a long time. I hope you've been wiggling. I hope you've been adjusting. I hope you've been finagling yourself into a deeper side split because we're starting our timer at 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. If your knees and the top of your head is pointing in the same direction, you do not have to flex your feet anymore. You can relax your toes, you can relax your calves, you can relax your glutes, you can relax your low back, you can relax everything and breathe. Sigh out all that extra air. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. If you've been locking your arms out straight this whole entire time, you can give them a slight bend and see if that suddenly makes your stretch way harder. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Zero. That's it. Oh, walk your hands forward. Pull your legs in underneath you. That is our first side split. We're doing 3 rounds of these. And in between each round, we're going to try to shake out the tension that you just created. Notice how uncomfortable your legs are, how poorly they are moving, how hard it is to come back into standing. We're going to shake out the tension in our muscles. We're going to try and relax them as much as possible so we can get back into a second side split and a third side split, and they are going to be chill and ready for it. All right? We're going to, or I'm going to walk over to the camera real quick because TikTok is testing my identity as not a bot, and I have to solve this puzzle. And I have failed this puzzle twice in a row. Why am I so bad at this puzzle? There we go. Boom. Third time's a charm. Whew. We're ready to continue. Let's go. We're shaking things out. So come back into standing. Try to put all your weight into one leg and flick the other ankle around. All right. When your ankles are floppy and loose, all the muscles directly above your ankles, below the knee, are also probably going to be chilling and loose. So I want you to shake it out, let it go wherever it wants, from the side to the front, to the side, to the front. You don't have to lift your knee up, by the way. You can just keep it lazy and low to the ground on the floor like this. But what we want is your whole entire ankle just going and doing whatever it wants. All right? Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Switch to the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. There's a whole bunch of muscles in the leg that controls your ankle, right? You can flex the foot, you can point the toe, you can point it from side to side, and all those muscles have to be relatively relaxed in order for your leg to be flopping back and forth, up and down, and doing all this stuff. That's what we want. We want to promote relaxation, and we're testing it. We're proving that it's true when the ankle just goes all over the place. Next, we're going to get into our hips. 5 to 10 seconds on each of those shaky shakies is plenty. So we're going to move on into our hips. I want you to put all your weight into one leg, and I want you to put the other big toe down on the ground as an anchor point. I want you to keep this knee slightly bent so that you can rotate in and out. Okay? In, out, in, out. What we're doing is making sure you can identify which muscles you got to be using for this movement. It's actually super useful and super important for a whole bunch of hip mobility stuff at some point when you want to work on that. You'll be like, oh, I got this. I do this leg shake with Ken. From here, we are going to slowly straighten up that leg. It doesn't have to be so bent. The bentness is just demonstration to make sure you can see that the leg is going in and out and in and out. You can stand up a little straighter, you can chill a little bit more, and you can keep on rotating with that leg a little bit straighter. All right? As you get more comfortable with this, you control these muscles better and better. You can start going faster and faster and faster and faster. And I want you to shake so aggressively that all of the muscles in that leg are flopping back and forth at a different pace than your bones are, I guess. And that will have your body go. You'll look like you'll be made of jello. Your legs are flopping, they're loose, they're relaxed, and whew, that is our leg shake. We're gonna do the other side. Leg is all the way down, big toe is down. We are working on rotating that knee in and out and 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 in and out. Picking up the pace, shaking it out, shaking it out, shaking it out. And then at some point, if you keep on going faster and 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 faster, your leg starts turning into jello, and we're ready to move on. If you did not get all the way to jello mode, don't worry. It's not that important. What we're trying to do is move the body, get some of the muscles in the hips and in the legs, force them to relax, distract your brain enough for the muscles to actually relax, because what we're doing is just kicking our buddy around. All right. Hopefully, you're feeling a little bit better, and we're ready to move on into side split number 2. Let's go. 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. For most people, that is 1.5 footsteps. One, you're here, open up those legs, and let's begin. We are folding at the hips, but first, if your hips are hurting, if your legs are too wide apart, they're going, ugh, ooh, you're feeling it in the joints, you've gone too far, bring your legs back in. Then, fold that belly button down. Whee, boom. From here, stick your hands into the ground. It's for support. If you cannot reach, you don't feel comfortable reaching for it, you can elevate your hands with a stool or a yoga block. I made a joke about encyclopedias. Go ahead, use those too. From here, your feet are flat on the ground. Our knees are pointing forward. What we want to do is rotate the whole entire leg so that the knees are pointing up into the air, the toes are pointing up. All right? What that looks like is this. Whee! Boom! Heels down, toes up, knees up. We gotta do the other side as well. Heels down, toes up, knees up. Ooh, hoo, hoo. We're in position. This is the side split. Once we've rotated our legs, our thigh bones do not smash into our hip bones. And that means the only thing holding us back is the length of our muscles. From here, we're doing a little wiggle from side to side. Lean and push the leg out. Lean and push the leg out. Lean and push that leg out. Make sure that you don't start sliding too far backwards and your body weight is not controllable because your hands are stuck on your stool or on your chair like way far back over there. And if you have no idea what that means, you're probably not doing it. So we can move on. Whee! Lean, lean, lean. Push that leg out. And whew, when you're as low as you can get, we're about ready to begin. Remember, if you need to shift things up, you can put your hands forward, you can put your hands back, you can sit against the wall. 30 seconds, let's go. Relax. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. For my regulars, if you've been doing this show a lot, I know I emphasize trying to get deep into the stretch, but you do not actually have to hit 100% your max every single day. If you are hitting 80, 90%, you're spending a little bit more time in positions where your hands are, sorry, I rubbed the earbud real hard trying to stick it back in my ear. You're in positions where your hands are supporting a little bit more of your weight and you're relaxing a little bit more into that stretch. That is good. Relaxation is just as important as how deep you get into it. All right. I forgot what we counted to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. We're done. If you can, come out of that stretch. You might need to walk your hands forward. Walk, 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 and drag your legs in beneath you. Oh, that is our second side split. Oh, we're going to get to side split number 3 right after we shake out our legs. Let's go. Come on back into standing. Ugh. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. If you're waddling around like a drunk penguin, that is absolutely okay. Just find a little bit of balance. You can hold on to the wall too if you need it. And start shaking out the legs. Shake, 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 shake. We do all this leg shaking so that you can master relaxation. All right? We want the leg muscles to chill out. We want to go from waddling like a penguin and going, oh, my knees don't work, my elbows, whatever, my ankles don't work, to, oh, we're loose, we're relaxed, and we're ready to do things. And when you get some time under your belt, you can test this. You can see how long it takes for you to regain function and mobility. Those two shakes, I'm really good. I'm completely back. But we do the demonstration, we slow it down, we talk about shaking, 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 flop it, flop it, flop it, flop it, flop it, flop it, and relaxing our muscles so that you get time to practice, time to figure out how to relax. All right, hips, let's go. All your weight is in one foot, big toe is down on the other side. We're rotating the knee in and out and in and out. We're dancing. All right. You can switch your arms back and forth if you want, make it even more dancey. And as you get more control and more comfortable with bringing your hips in and out and in and out, I really want you to emphasize, or I want to emphasize to you, that there's no movement in the rest of the body. The only thing that's moving is this thigh bone in the hip socket. All right. And we're just controlling the muscles so that it can go in and out. And as you get comfortable, of course, like I said earlier, you can stand up a little straighter, you can shake out your legs from a more standy position, a little bit more chill, so that you're not doing a squat the whole time. And keep on shaking. Shake, 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 relax. This movement that you're doing, you're controlling these two muscles. You can combine it into, whatever leg shake that we were doing earlier, having our ankles relax. You can rotate with your leg up like this. You don't have to have the toe down. So if you want to make a super more aggressive version of that shake for yourself to help relax those leg muscles, you can absolutely 100% do that. Everything that we're doing, stretching wise, is just trying to relax our muscles as much as possible so they can be as long as possible so we can get into that deep stretch. So, if I haven't emphasized how much relaxing is important to us, I hope you understand now. Relax, chill, sigh out all that extra air. All right, let's go. We're doing some more side splits. We got one more round. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. Open up those legs nice and wide. If your hips are feeling pinchy, you've gone too far. Bring them, the feet, in just a little bit. And we're ready to fold. Focus on that belly button. Bring it down into the ground, and we are in our starting position. If you can reach the floor to start, great. If you cannot reach the floor, feel free to use a prop like a stool. From here, we're going to do the most important part of our whole entire life. We're going to rotate this leg. Right now, our feet are flat on the ground. Our knees are pointed forward. We're going to rotate backwards 90 degrees so the knee is pointing up. The toes are pointing up. The heels are down. You might want to try and get a little bit lower to the ground before you rotate so that there's a little less pressure on your heel. We got to do both sides. Boom. Heel down, toes up, knees up. From here, we're in our side splits. If you're a little bit higher up, it's still a side split. It counts. What we want to do is let our muscles slowly shift and adjust until we are in the deepest version that we can get. And then we can come back up a little bit, back into like 80%, 90%. You don't have to be 100% every single day at all times, especially if you do this live every single day. And we're basically ready to start counting. I hope you're ready, because I'm ready. Actually, one more second. Oh, lean to the left, lean to the right, lean. Oh, no, I'm not ready. I can go much further. Lean, 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 lean. And 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Again, walk your hands forward for more of a stretch in the inner thighs. 24, 23, 22. As long as your knees are pointing in the direction that the top of your head is pointing, it is good. You're in a side split. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We're almost done. 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward. The further you walk, the more you'll drag your feet in behind you, and the easier it will be to come back into something like a kneeling or a sitting or just plain giving up position. All right? That is our third and final side split. All we got left is some shaky, shaky, shaky stuff that you are a pro at now, and we're gonna do a couple of quick joint checks, and we'll be done. All right, come on back up into standing. Oh, and let's wrap things up. Shake, 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 shake. Shake out one ankle. Get it relaxed. Once your ankles are flopping all over the place, all the muscles up to the knee have to be accommodating whatever your crazy ankle's doing, right? And you can start doing other things. You can start shaking out your leg like this. Wee! Do a little dance. Do some squats. Whatever it takes to help your muscles wake up from the side split and helps them to relax. Whew, other side. Shake out that ankle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Left, right, forward, and back, and circles, and as many other shaky, shaky things as you want. From here, we're going to shake out the hips. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down on the other side. We'll bring the knee in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. You know what I haven't talked about today? I have not talked about stanky leg. We are working on that hip mobility. We're working on that position. You might as well put it to work, put it to use. It is Sunday morning, so maybe you're done clubbing for the weekend, but stanky leg is always useful. All right, so put your stanky leg to work. Where am I going with this? I don't know. It usually comes out a little bit smoother. Okay, where are we going? We got one more leg to shake out. I did the stinky leg on that side, but I did not actually shake out the leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. And again, this goal here is to relax those leg muscles. You want to have control over when it's tense and when it's relaxed. Sometimes you can't have control, it's just not possible. But other times, we want our best case scenario to be we can get into control after a little bit of shaking, a little bit of flopping, a little bit of wiggling. All right? Hopefully, your legs are feeling a little bit better, your hips are doing good, and we're ready to move on to some joint checks. Let's go. I want you to do some hip circles. Oh, 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 oh. After the side splits, I always feel a lot of pressure right here in the left and right side of that hip. So I like to spend a little bit of time just chilling in that spot, feeling that stretch, grunting, groaning, making as many sound effects as I feel like making. Because hey, we're working hard, all right. You're allowed to make sound effects, so you do it too. Don't let me just do this by myself. Keep on going through that range of motion, through that circle, and see what else is a little stiff, needs a little relaxation. If you have a tight low back, maybe you just want to hang out and flop forward for a little bit and be like, oh yeah, oof. And that is our hip circles. Next up, we're going to do a quick high knee. If your knee comes up, we're ready to move on. After that, we're going to do a squat. We're going to hold that squat for a while. We're going to do some calf raises from that squat. What we're trying to do is challenge our joints, challenge our muscles, make sure that they're working well together, and then we'll be done. All right, this next part has a lot of toe activity involved. Your toes can be really strong and dexterous, just like your fingers. So don't sleep on them and give them some love. They can make fists and curl. They can flex upwards and point all of your toes up into the sky. They can spread wide, and you can experiment with that on your own because we're wrapping up. Let's go. We are popping into a bit of a squat. Keep your feet relatively close together, hips width, just straight down, and folding, 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 folding. Bring your chest down towards your knees. When you're in this bent over position, you have a tendency of wanting to fall forward. If you're resting all your weight on your heels, that's probably the right thing to be doing. But I want you to lean a little forward so that you're feeling a whole bunch of pressure on your toes. Your toes should be gripping the floor, working real hard, trying to keep you stable. When your toes are working so hard, trying to keep you stable, the arch of your feet should also be quite a bit strained. And we want that. We want our feet working hard for us. All right? Next up, I want you to push your toes out in front of you as your toes. You push your knees out in front past your toes if you can. If you can't, that's totally fine. Just try to push your knees in that direction. You should feel a growing Achilles tendon stretch, a growing calf stretch. You can poke your calf to double check, and your quads are probably really tired and upset with you. From here, you can put your hands down for a little bit of support with balance. You can put a finger down, or you can not put any hands down at all. And I want you to do a couple of calf raises. I want you to come up onto your toes. Try to bring your weight up in front. Imagine that you are trying to balance your weight between your big toe and your index toe, and come on up. If you start trying to spread the weight across your whole entire forefoot, you tend to have your heels and your ankles go out to the side instead of going to the front. All right. There's some complexity to this. This is why I'm talking about the toes and talking about the feet. They got lots of functions, and I hope you use some of them a little bit more than before. That, hopefully, is our entire joint check. What we just did was put our toes to work with the arch of our foot, forced our Achilles tendon and our calves to get nice and stretched, our quads to struggle while we try to figure out all these weird new movements, and we did a whole bunch of calf raises in that weird folded over position. The goal was to make sure all of these joints, all of these muscles are working well together, well enough for you to be doing crazy cool stuff on the ground. And with that, I think we're ready to wrap. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility with me today. We are wrapping our 9 a.m. Sunday morning show. Oh, it's 10:18. It wasn't super long. We've just finished 80 minutes. Whew. Give yourself a round of applause, pat yourself on the back. It was tough, it was long, and we are done. If you enjoyed this live, I want you to know that we do it every single day, Monday through Sunday, because the most important quality, to me at least, is consistency. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you can't follow that plan, it's probably not the best plan. So, we care about consistency, showing up every day, doing a little bit, putting in the work. Not every day has to be a 100% day. If you have a 70% day, an 80% day, that is absolutely 100% fine. I do this live every single day, and I'm not at 100% every day. There's just no way, right? But what we do care about is consistency, showing up, making it a part of your life, putting the time in, and putting in the effort to do cool things as long as you care about them. If you don't care about the side splits, you don't care about hip mobility, you don't have to be here. But since you're here all the way at the end, I assume you like stretchy, side splitty, hip mobility ish stuff, right? So if you like that stuff, we're here every day at 9 p.m. on the weekends right now. Sunday morning, Saturday morning, we are also live at 9 a.m. So you have a cool way to start the day. But that is done because the weekend is it's not over. It's only just past half, but the morning stuff, that's done. There's no more. All right. Anyways, that got really depressing. We're gonna move on to the next topic. I have not looked at the chat in a long time, so I'm gonna scoot my butt over to the chat and I'm gonna come over and sit. If you haven't yet and you like the live, you like the vibes, you like the concept of consistency, and you need a little bit more help sticking with it, hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back. Candy asks, hello, what time during the week again? Monday through Sunday is 9 p.m. Eastern. Johanna over on YouTube, I think you were here yesterday. Welcome back. What level is this? Um, I've been doing the same exact stretches for 450 plus days. And if it looks like it's more advanced, it is because I'm more flexible now than I began, and I'm folding a bit more forward in each of the stretches. It is the exact same stretch, and I talk about it, I think, in almost the exact same way. There's a couple of things that are confusing that I talk about differently now because I try to experiment with how I teach it to make it more understandable, or to speed things up a little bit. But I've been using the same moves from the very beginning, which was much less flexible. And I've been doing some combination, or this combination of moves, plus maybe one or two have been added in over the last 10 months. And for like 450 plus days since December 1st, 2024. I don't know how many days ago that was. A lot of days ago. So you can come in as a beginner and you can work on the same stretches. You can get much deeper. I'm going to spend time in deeper ranges because I'm trying to make sure that this show is also effective for me in my stretching, right? Like this is to help keep you guys accountable, but it's also to keep me accountable, right? I'm also stretching, trying to get into my side split. And so you're going to see the results of me doing like 450 plus days of this show. Okay? Whew. But yes, I promise. All the stretches that we do, there's an easier beginner or friendly version, and that's just not to go as deep because you can't. You can't get as deep, and that's fine. All right. Lou says, so this is a 9 a.m. class, isn't every weekend? No, the 9 a.m. class is every weekend. It's Saturday and Sunday, but the regular class is 9 p.m. every single day. Yeah, that's. Let me do this again. Monday through Sunday. I don't know why I use my pinky finger and my thumb for that. Monday through Sunday, it is 9 p.m. So every single day we have a 9 p.m. show. But on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday mornings, we have a 9 a.m. show. And this is 9 a.m. in the Eastern time zone. So in the Eastern time zone right now, it is 10:22. We started 82 minutes ago. So whatever time you're at right now is probably not 9. And if you subtract 82 minutes, that is when our normal live on the weekend starts. But if you subtract 82 minutes and then you add 12 hours, this is getting really confusing. That is when our normal live is in the evenings. Okay? Oh, I hope that sentence wasn't super confusing. All right, we're going to scroll. Che, thank you for letting us know that it's every day at 9 p.m. with a smiley face. All right, I'm going to scroll real fast through the comments and see what's going on and answer any questions as we go. Yatar, I read Yatarati. That's, do you stretch at hump day? I stretch every day. Every day. Some days are more intense and painful than others, but every day. Candy asks, hello, what time during the week again? Okay, boom. We have covered this. I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna scroll, I'm gonna scroll and see what we got. Candy sends hearts and what was the name? Yatarati sends thank you. Thank you, thank you. I am scrolling. I'm scrolling up real fast to see what we can find. Chase sending crying laughter emojis and hearts. I hope I had a good joke. Mechanicus is telling us to shush. Am I talking too much? Or is that because I had a really funny joke and you're like, hey, 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 you can't reveal these things to the public? Antoinette is tagging herself. Okay, nice. Welcome. And anything else? Che sending awesome emojis as per usual. Thank you, Che, for the support. I appreciate it. And I'm scrolling as fast as I can back to the top to see what is going on. Che has posted in the chat. Yes, he has a YouTube and Instagram, same name, and you see his older versions. Oh, older videos. Yes, over on Instagram, there is a log of probably 8 months, short, like a handful of days, less than a week. So 7 months and 3 weeks worth of recordings of the live. There's absolutely no reason for you to go watch them because there's a live show. But if you would like, you can go check those out and you can see proof of where I started and how I've slowly progressed. Very, 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 very slowly to where I'm at now. All right. Whew. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Citrus King asks, please tell me of a video version of these stretches. Yes, actually, that is a great segue to go check out the YouTube channel because on YouTube, we've posted a long form video. So, regular YouTube long video. I think it's like 30 something minutes. It's basically this show. But we spend a little bit less time getting into and setting up that deep stretch sometimes. And there's no Q&A, obviously, because it was a recording and not a live show. But you can go check that out for the days when you need to have a video and you can't be on live. It is a really solid video. Some of the instruction is going to be slightly different from what I use today because that video I recorded a long time ago and I just never bothered to edit because I do the live every day already. So I was like, oh, it's not that important. But it is out now and you can watch it over on YouTube. It is the most recent video that I posted. So if you go to YouTube/@ splits on the side and you go to videos, should be the first video, the most recent video. Cool. All right. Keep scrolling. What else do we get? What else do we get? What else do we get? Che answering the questions like a champ. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm doing the Q&A at the end, but I'm looking for any questions that came in while we were doing it. Oh, Tolls asked, can I do this? I recently did a spine operation. Okay, this is way, way, way out of my pay grade. That's funny. I don't get paid doing this. So that's a really weird sentence to put in there. Can I do this? I recently did a spine up. I'm not a doctor. All right. What your doctor recommends is probably going to make way more sense than whatever it is that I recommend. I, in general, as a general statement, believe that especially after an injury, you got to keep moving. You got to keep using your muscles because if you don't use your muscles, they will atrophy. That is just fact. Whether that atrophy is controlled because you're monitoring it or something else, that is entirely up to you. But if you don't use your muscles, like if your arm is in a cast because you broke your arm, those muscles will weaken and then you'll need rehab, right? I imagine that after a spine op, you also need some form of rehab. And it really, whether or not you can get back into the show depends entirely on how well your back is able to handle the post operation pain. Especially if you did this recently, I imagine it's going to be a little crazy because you have to readjust to whatever else is going on in your spine now. That is a good reason to move, but that is not a good reason to do this specific show. Okay, because at the end of the day, my goal is to help you practice consistency. Right? If your spine gets hurt and you don't practice consistency, I have failed anyway. So be careful, take it easy, and definitely check with your doctor. I think the doctor would probably recommend that you go on the safer side and do less movement for a longer period of time. And then once everything's feeling okay, start reintroducing more movement. Whether you do that, that is up to you. Um, but yes, in general, more steady, gentle movement will help get your body accommodating or adjusted to whatever I assume is going on with your spine. There's a guy out there, his name is Low Back Ability. And I don't know, I don't think he's had an actual operation on his spine, but he's had severe low back pain and injuries. And he coaches for low back pain. I think his big idea, especially for starting out, is just holding positions and chilling for, I mean, chilling, but kind of holding positions for a long time. So the piece of his content that I see the most often is if you start with low back pain, you can just hang out in a position that shouldn't hurt in normal life, but might be hurting you, and just hang out in it for a long time because you need to teach your brain that this new position is okay, is acceptable, and is hurting because of the spinal operation or because of the new thing that's changed and not because it's a bad position inherently for your body. So I hope I'm not butchering his core message, but you can check him out. His username is Low Back Ability, and it's spelled exactly how that sounds. Low Back Ability. Please go check out his work. It's really good. I did like a month and a half of a very basic version of his free YouTube videos at a gym. So I used weights. And really, 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 really good. I'm not, actively trying to become the strongest human being on the planet, so I don't necessarily need to train for that. But the little bits of workout at the gym that I did following his plan were very, very useful for helping me feel much stronger in my back and having a lot more confidence in what my back can do. Because I have also had various low back injuries from 10 plus years ago at this point that I go, ugh, yeah, maybe I won't do that anymore because now I'm scared and I'm afraid, right? I'm afraid that I'll re-injure the injury because I don't understand what my injury is capable of handling. And when you spend the time slowly trying to figure out what your body is capable of, you have a lot more confidence doing cool things because you're like, oh, either I'm much stronger than I thought, or I'm much weaker than I thought, or I'm just as weak as I thought I was. And now you have a starting place, a starting point to start building up some mobility, some strength, and some durability in your body. All right. Um, the the only true fact here is if you don't move at all your muscles will atrophy, and that will be bad. If you don't move at all, especially in your joints, there will be no nutrients getting pumped into those joints, and your joints will heal even slower. Right. So movement is necessary in order for your joints to heal. Is that exactly what's going on in your back? I have absolutely no idea, but I hope these general statements are a little bit more useful for helping you guide yourself in the right direction. All right. I'm gonna scroll all the way back down to the bottom of the chat and see what's going on. Fatima is back and says, "I'm back, Ken. Welcome back, Fatima. We just wrapped up the live. I'm just doing the Q&A at the end. So, oh, Souls asked the question, can I do stretches with the spine up? Anna says, "Oh my God, you have so many people in here. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we have like 200 something people on right now, and that is absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for being here. I think."
However, we are basically done with the stretches. Lou says it's 10:23 a.m. It's currently 10:32. Mary asked what time is it. Lou answered for her. Thank you. Um, Sweet. Oh man, a whole bunch of really nice comments came in. Hold on, I'm gonna read through these. Do, 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 do. Julia Vivi says, "Thank you so much. My calves are specifically feeling better this morning." That's awesome. We don't even do that much for our calves. That's amazing. Uh, I think most of the calf stuff happens right at the end when we do that little check with the calf raise. We do a little bit of calf stuff when we're doing the Cossack switch with the leg extended out to the side and we're pushing our knees into the ground, trying to get low to the ground. So I'm glad your calves are already feeling better. That's amazing because we really didn't work on the calves that much. So hopefully you take that as one of those notes where fixing this discomfort might only take like 5 minutes a day and not you know make it a big deal. And if you believe all the challenges that you're facing are a little more handleable, it makes life so much easier, right? So yeah, you fixed your body in like no time flat. Awesome. Shanti says, "I'd love to do these do stretches beginner." Um, Good. That's awesome. I said this a little bit earlier, but all of our stretches started at a much earlier level, right? Our hip cars are going to look crazy and look fancy when I do them because I've been doing them for 450 days. But the premise of a hip car, controlled articulated rotation, is, and I'm just giving an example with the first warm up exercise, the premise of the hip car is to use your muscles to lift your legs as high as possible, right? So when I can lift my leg pretty high and you can only lift your leg over here, that is not a reason to be discouraged. That is a reason to recognize that your leg could probably also lift that high and you need to do the work to get from here to here on a regular basis. This is just strengthening your muscles slowly over time and boom, high knee. We do a lot of movement, and a lot of those movements are going to feel hard, especially if you're a beginner. Difficulty is not a reason to go choose an easier exercise. Difficult, like especially the hip guard, because we're not we're not putting you in a crazy position. We're putting you in a position that your muscles are supposed to pull you into. All right. If the standing version of the hip guard is a little bit too much for you, you can't figure out the balance, you're like not sure what's going on, there is another version of the hip guard that you can do. You can get onto all fours, so your knees and hands are down on the ground, and you can focus on bringing that knee and tucking it into your chest. You can focus on doing that like fire hydrant pose, trying to keep your hips level, keep your hips from, like rotating all over the place. That's not a good thing to demonstrate from the side. It's easier to demonstrate from the front, I think. If you go like this and all of a sudden your whole body is like tipping over and you're like way over here, but you're lifting this leg up, you're not really doing the right movement, right? This is happening. You're trying to keep the hips square and you're trying to lift that leg as high as you can with the hips in the same spot because that's what the point is, to get the maximum range of motion, not to force your whole body to flip over and be like, hey, look, my leg is up here. That's not the same. What else? From that hip car on the ground, our hip cars, high knee, open, rotate the ankle up, bring the leg down and back, right? Same exact movements or same exact leg positioning you can do from standing or on the ground. And they're actually going to contract different muscles. So if you want, feel free to switch it up and do the version on the ground. They're going to feel a little bit different because you're contracting slightly different muscles and gravity is going to pull on them in slightly different ways. So it'll be different, but same. We're working on building up mobility. We're working on building up strength. All of the exercises that we do have an easier version, and that is you're just not going to be as deep in them. All right. What is the second thing that we do? Elephant walks. If you cannot fold as deep as I can, you can just be up here. And you can keep on working on the hamstring stretch from here. I'm demonstrating from way down here, and that makes it harder for me so that I can get the proper warm up. If you are slightly higher up, you're at a higher angle, this is absolutely fine. If you're feeling it in your hamstrings, you're feeling the tingliness in your toes, you're feeling the sensation of your butt cheeks getting pulled down because that's where the tendons connect for the hamstrings into your hips, you're doing great. What else do we got?
second one, third one, Cossack switch. Cossack switch in particular is one of those really hard ones, and I am nice and deep into this at this point. If you watch some of the older videos, I'm not nearly this deep. I've made a ton of progress in the active movement stuff, Cossack switches. If you cannot get this deep, it is absolutely 100% okay to be higher up in the air. Focus on getting as deep as you can, but if you're higher up off the ground, this is absolutely fine. You still get almost all the benefits because we're working on what you are capable of and not what I am capable of. And what you're seeing is what your movement can be grown into. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of you on this call who are like, I'm way more flexible than you can. So, when I say, grow into, I'm saying for the people who are coming and be like, I would love to do beginner stretches. Okay, don't shoot me down. Okay. All right. Um, that is our first three warm-up exercises. If you're gonna do anything at all and you're gonna skip anything else, do the three warm-up exercises. They're really good for getting you ready and doing other stuff, prepare you for the day. The hip cars are just really good in general because you're working on strengthening your muscles at their weakest, right? Usually, the more extreme your range of motion, the weaker it is, right? And you can test this. You can try to lift something with your knee. You can probably only lift it to here, and then you won't be able to get that last little bit. And I feel like I'm rambling, but let me close off this rambling. Where are we going with this? All the stretches that we do, you can slowly progress into a less intense or more intense version. The first stretch is a hamstring stretch. We literally do this with our knee on the ground to make it a little bit easier. With your butt elevated, and this is the alternate version of that hamstring stretch, with your butt elevated, it is easier to lean forward. When you're leaning forward, gravity is helping to pull you down and helps to fold you into a stretch. If kneeling is not high enough for you, you can also stand. When I don't have a clean-ish floor that I have control over, when I do the public park or train station or airport versions of this live, I try to stand. And when you're standing, you can fold forward however you fold forward. If you get stuck here, fine. If you get stuck here, fine. If you get stuck here, great. If you keep getting stuck lower down, awesome. What else we got? Second stretch is the butterfly. The butterfly is about how far you can pull yourself down, right? There's not much you can change in order to get into a deeper position. You're just trying your best to pull your legs down. I think to make the butterfly more beginner friendly, I think the only solution is really to get like a dumbbell and have some external force pulling your legs down. No, like pushing your legs down. Otherwise, sitting your butt against the wall, pulling your legs in, and pushing your knees down is as easy as it's going to get. It's not going to get any easier. Um, the pancake is hard. And the way I demonstrate it is definitely not the easiest way to do a pancake. If you need a beginner version of that pancake, you can sit on something so that you can get that same advantage that we were talking about, where gravity helps to pull you forward a little bit more, because when you're sitting at 90 degrees, you're still leaning forward. But the taller the thing you're seated on, the easier it will be to fold forward. This is starting to look a little dangerous, but let's see. Boom! The taller your butt, the easier it is to fold forward, right? From the side, it looks a little bit like this. 90 degrees is like this. Gravity's already pulling us down, and we're feeling the stretch a little bit more readily, a little bit more easily. So, for the standing pancake, you can start with a seated pancake. I think of the stretches that we've done so far, that is the main one that has earned an easier variation. And this is how we start. You're still folded forward. You're still trying to bring the belly button down. You're still extending your arms over your head to help get gravity to help you. You're still trying to get your upper body as close to horizontal as possible. But you can sit down on the ground. The seated pancake only gets you so far because you need strength in your adductors in order to get into a deeper pancake. And when we do the standing pancake, we're building strength in the adductors, and then we're folding. All right, so there's a purpose to the standing pancake, and there's a reason why we do the slightly harder version, because you need it. And the most important thing is you don't have to be in that deep version. You can do the pancake with your legs slightly wide. Right, so it doesn't have to be super intense here in the adductors unless you want it. Right? I always say this at the end. If you want to open up your legs further when you're folded forward, I go, you can open them up. You can open them. Does that mean you have to? All right? Let's see. What else we got? Pigeon and figure four. The figure four is the easy variation. You land on your back, you're pulling your own leg in. The fifth and final stretch is a side splits, right? We have been setting it up, and the way I set it up, with your leg rotated, we are basically in this position. There's almost no stretch happening when we are set up for the side split. So if you end up here, that is great. You're already in a side split. If you end up lower down, you're still at the side split. And all the ranges in between is you making progress. The stretch itself didn't change. You're just working down towards whatever it is that you are capable of. And slowly, hopefully, over time, with the consistency that we're trying to practice, you'll be able to get a little bit deeper. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And I hope you appreciated the super wrap through of all the stuff that we do and me trying to think if we can make it even more beginner friendly. I think the two things are the hamstring stretch. You can stand up and fold forward instead of dropping down to one knee. That'll put less pressure on the knee. Um, but you have less control. When you are on that knee, it's much easier to sort of use your hands to help balance and adjust and tweak and wiggle your hips a little bit. When you're standing up straight, you can still wiggle, but you have to be folded much lower to the ground to be able to use your hands to help, and they won't be as stable. But for a lot of people, that range will overlap, so it's not that important. If you prefer standing hamstring stretch, go ahead do a standing hamstring stretch. If you prefer a seated pancake and you want to just take it easy on any given day, do a seated pancake. A couple of weeks ago, we were doing more seated pancakes, but that's because my hips were extra tired. Apparently, they're not super extra tired these days, so I've been doing regular pancakes, regular standing pancakes. Okay, I'm scrolling. Mari says, eventually I'll become as flexible as you, hopefully. Hopefully, and then I hope you pass. I would prefer if everybody got way more flexible than I am. Because I know it looks like I'm flexible, and it sounds like I'm just being a butthead if I say I'm not flexible. So that's not what I'm saying. But the world of flexibility goes so far past what I'm remotely capable of that uh, there's a whole new world out there. If you end up practicing consistency, if you end up keeping on doing the things that we're doing together right now, showing up, putting in the work because you actually enjoy it, because you love it, um, there's a whole universe of flexibility way past beyond what we're capable of or what I'm capable of, and that is entirely out there for you. So I hope you get way past far beyond what I'm ready to do and what I'm ready to focus on. Because at some point, I imagine I'll have other interests, other hobbies, and maybe I won't want to do this side splits for the rest of time. And if that happens, I hope you keep on pursuing the cool flexibility stuff because you love it. All right. McKennasis is laughing. Awesome. Me. Okay. I'm gonna scroll back down and see what's up. Anna with the congratulations. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that congratulations so that I can reference it later. Every time I take a screenshot, it's always me making this ugly face, trying to read, trying to squint at handwriting. I'm like hunched over trying to see something where I'm talking, and I can't imagine that those screenshots will look nice when I need to look back at them. I don't really look at them. They're just in a folder, but I imagine one day it will be useful. Charlie Turkey says, "Where's the value in being flexible?" A lot of more advanced flexibility isn't that important. That's a fact. If you can get through your daily life and have absolutely zero problems, you probably don't need more flexibility, right? But here are some situations where you need some more flexibility. If you got kids, you've got grandkids, they're crawling around on the floor like this small, and you want to hang out with them in their natural playing environment, and you want to spend more time on the floor, having more mobile hips, having more mobile ankles, having more comfort in this type of position is really convenient because you can really easily like do stuff from that position. If you're seated on the ground and you don't feel like you're immediately going to fall backwards because you have enough hamstring flexibility to fold forward, you can actually do stuff on the ground. I've seen people like play games, sew and knit and like do stuff in this crazy type of legs wide pancake E straddly E position and they're just comfortably doing whatever it is that they're doing. If you can do that, you'll be able to do and hang out with your little toddlers, your babies, for as long as you want, and everything will be super sweet. That being said, we got chairs, we got infrastructure for us to be comfortable, right? If we go into the older age spectrum and you get into a situation where you fall, if you have the flexibility and the strength to come up from the ground without needing your hands, with as minimal support as possible, then that helps you stay independent for much longer. It helps you to do cool things by yourself for much longer, right? Having that flexibility is by itself not that important. Having the flexibility and the ability to use it is way more important. But if your alternative is you're completely stiffed and locked up and you take a fall one day and all of your bones have no ability to absorb any impact because you haven't trained it, your fall is going to be much worse than somebody who's more loose, more mobile, more relaxed, more chill. They'll be able to relax into that impact a little bit more, and their body will distribute the force, and it will be a little bit chiller. What is a real example of what I'm saying? People who practice parkour, right? They're jumping off crazy things, putting crazy amount of force onto their joints, rolling and flipping, and then like they walk it off, right? That is an example of what your body is capable of doing when you can sort of control how force gets distributed throughout your body. Flexibility is a tiny component of that bigger picture. And so you could argue that I should just be practicing parkour, right? Like I could be directly practicing the thing with the skill set that I want, and you absolutely could. For a lot of people, for me especially, I went to a couple of dance classes, and I had friends who were able to do crazy splits. Like they were able to do a side split and then just rotate their hips and then do a front and back split and then rotate back and do like another split. And it was just mind blowing how flexible they were. So I was like, I'm gonna be able to do that one day. That was like 15 years ago, and I'm still not able to do it. But I also haven't been able to stay consistent. So this live exists to help us all stay a little bit more consistent, to practice and make sure that we are doing the work that our mouth is saying we want to be able to do, right? If that's helpful, that's what the live is about. But your question was, what is flexibility useful for? Um, it's useful for a lot of things, right? If you're in positions where you're constantly uncomfortable, having the flexibility, having the mobility to get into it makes life a lot easier. If you hate being on a plane because you're hunched over, your hips are feeling weird, and everything is awful, having a little bit more flexibility, having a little bit more mobility, having a little bit more freedom to move your body allows you to tweak and adjust in ways that you wouldn't be able to do if you were super stiff. Um, that's not a good example because I can't think of how that would be immediately useful. But it's the same if you were driving. If you drive and do big long road trips, oftentimes my hamstrings, my calves, my feet, especially the left leg because it's just chilling there and not doing anything. I drive an automatic car like most Americans, and so only the right leg is doing anything. And by the time I'm ready to get out after like 3 or 4 hours driving, this leg basically doesn't work. Like that first step out of the car, I'm like, ugh, ugh, and I'm waddling, right? The flexibility, the mobility that we're training makes it so that you can recover from that much, much, much faster. You need less work to get back into functional walking, stability, and all the other things that you need to make sure you function in regular life. It's not super important. You can just take a little bit more time, do a little waddle, do a little wiggle. And when you get back into movement ready shape, you're ready to go. And you go to the gas station, get whatever you gotta do. So, in terms of pure practicality, you really don't need that much flexibility. If it's enough for you to get through your normal life, that's plenty. But the most important thing is it doesn't have to be practical. Nothing has to be practical. If we were only practical people, there would be no sports cars, right? So if you want to do cool things, you want to have other passions, you want to have other things that you care about. You want to practice dance. You want to practice other things that are beautiful and graceful and require more flexibility. working on flexibility is a perfect complement. If you want to do martial arts and you want to do taekwondo and you want to do really beautiful kicks because you're mastering the art of moving your body in these really cool kicky ways, that's a really good reason to practice flexibility so that you can develop the skill that you actually want, which is kicking really high or kicking people in the face, whatever it is that you want. All right. I think that's it for my ramble. And the summary is you probably don't need that much flexibility. How many people need to be able to do a split? Not very many. Not very many at all. And that's why not very many people probably can do a split. But there are small little things that matter to some people. And if those happen to match you, then it's a good reason to work on your flexibility. When you have a reason to use that flexibility, it is really good inspiration. Having kids, having grandkids, having a dog that's really low to the floor, for example, is a really good reason to be able to hang out low on the ground, be able to stay stable, stay balanced when your dog pulls on you and not get pulled away because you can react fast, you can adjust, your ankle can handle some of those ranges of motion, your hips can handle some of those ranges of motion. Those are good reasons to be a little bit more flexible, at least more flexible than what your daily life demands. Okay, that was a long ramble. Neko Panda over on YouTube says hello. Hey Neko Panda, welcome back. Hope you've enjoyed your vacation. And oh, I don't know what I just swiped on, but I'm back. What we got? 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 Abron says stay flexy. What's really funny is I got my start on Instagram and I got my start on social media because I wanted to, but also because I started doing a like a live challenge with Mr. Stay Flexy, David himself. Movement by David is the username. He's famous for being blonde, wearing the glasses, and doing crazy flexible things. He did a 30-day November middle splits challenge, is what it was called, back in November of 2024, and it was every single day. I was showing up, doing a little tiny workout, and I was like, you know what? Showing up every day, doing this little tiny workout is exactly what I need to do, and I'm going to make myself super accountable by doing it live. And that is the start of this whole entire thing. And some of the stretches that we do, the five main stretches that we do, come directly from one of his YouTube videos. And he knows this because he's been on the live when it was back on Instagram. He's been super supportive over the years. Um, Yeah, I think that video is called like "All You Need to Know About the Middle Splits" or something. Everything you need to know about the middle splits, something like that. It's not a very long video, but it's basically the concept that if you spend a couple minutes in a stretch every single week, eventually that will add up and cause you to become more flexible. I think the scientific result on that was like if you spend 2 or so minutes in a stretched position a week, you'll see the effects of stretching and your muscles will start to, allow you to get longer. And I haven't seen that video in a while. But the five main stretches come straight from that video. And that's what we do every day. Cool. All right. Let's see what else we got. I don't think I've seen. Why is my eye so itchy? I haven't seen Movement by David on a live since we came over to YouTube and TikTok. I think he's only joined in on the Instagram versions of the show. The Instagram version of the show no longer exists because it doesn't attract any new people. But mostly it doesn't exist because I was doing it for a long time on an account that was under 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 followers, and Instagram created a new rule where to go live you needed more than 1,000 followers, and at the time I didn't know how to make content at all, so it took a really long time to get back to 1,000 followers. And at this point it's been like 8 months since I've done an Instagram live. But I'm past 1,000 now. Yeah, there were moments in time where there was like 4 or 5 people, a lot of them who were European, because I was posting content super late in the evenings at like 1 a.m. in the East Coast, which was like starting the day 7 8 a.m. In Europe, and that that's when Movement by David would be posting his workouts. It would come out East Coast time, like 11 p.m. So for me to do the workout and make a little tiny bit of content about it, and then have other people see it, it was getting published basically for the European audience to watch.
And so the first couple of lives, the first couple months of lives were for a European audience, and the live was going at 2 p.m. in the afternoon during my lunch break, and it was a good time. And then Instagram kicked me off of doing lives there. And now we're here, YouTube and TikTok. And that's how things have gone. Now we're growing much, much, much faster because after months and months and months and months, I finally figured out how to make content and how to grow the account. So now you guys are here because of that. Cool. All right. I think that is enough storytelling for the day. We are, oh man, we're almost 2 hours deep into this live. All right, I'm wrapping up. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for practicing consistency. We have one more show tonight to wrap up the weekend at 9 p.m. Eastern. It is basically 11 a.m. Eastern at this point, so that is 10 hours from now. Feel free to come back for that. If you're too sore, if you're too tired, you don't have to. But again, we are here to practice consistency, to help you practice consistency, to help me practice consistency, and I'll be here doing some side splits, so feel free to join in. Side splits. Woo! Follow, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye, Auburn. Closing out, closing out. And